Here we are, everyone, with Game 2 featuring Matt and Dennis at Ground Zero Games in Tyler, Texas. I am Steven.
And I'm Zach.
And we are with Team Covenant, and we're covering Regionals 2014 like never before, which is why you're seeing this game. And Dennis on the left playing Smugglers, Pure and True, whereas Matt on the right is playing a really fantastic and interesting Darkside deck from what I understand.
Yeah, it was one of my favorite Darkside decks I saw on the day. Very interesting. Starts Sith. Has mainly Sith in the deck, but is also running Jawas and Trandoshan Terror. Important to note about those two objectives, they each only have one card requiring the Scum resource. So 4 cards in total on the deck that need it. You don't really have to have Scum out, but you get some really phenomenal units in the Jawas and the Trandoshans and Twist of Fate and Heat of Battle.
Well,
it's all there.
Who can argue?
So
Matt making some bold deck building decisions.
Yeah, it was really awesome to see. And like I said in Game 1, he's one of the better players in the game. And speaking of other games, Game 1, Matt got the dial to 7. Or Dennis got the dial to 7, pardon me. So in this game, Dennis is looking to win before the dial gets to 7. He's the lower seed. And Matt needs to win, or get the dial to 7 or higher, and he'll win the match.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't seen Game 1, be sure to check that out. You can find it on the channel. If you have, then you're in the right spot, and we're going to see if Dennis can actually seal this thing up before the dial hits 7. Now, what are the odds, Zach, of the dial actually not hitting 7 before the light side wins? Is this a common thing at regionals?
At this regional, it was. This is before the restriction happened, and on the day, smugglers were very common, winning somewhere between 4 and 6. Sometimes at 2 and 3, but most of the time at 4, 5, or 6. 7 is kind of a slower game, honestly. And it's a part of that has to do with if the dark side can get the dial to 6 or 7, they can usually go all out offense there and click the dial up with three blown objectives. But light side definitely super fast at this point in the game.
So there we see it. There's the Trandoshan, Council of the Sith, and Follow the Jedi.
And on Dennis' side, we got Raise the Stakes, Trust Me, and Across the Anuit.
I would say that's a pretty common smuggler opening, I must admit.
The only way that really gets better is a second Anuit instead of Raise the Stakes.
Yeah. And on Matt's end, I think this is maybe the first time that I've ever seen this spread of objectives together. So cheers to Matt for building something very interesting and quite unique, I've got to say.
Looks like Dennis is slicing in before we even get started here.
He's slicing.
I'm going to move one of those objectives to the bottom. Matt's going to draw a card first. For some reason.
Did he draw a card?
I don't know.
And now he's dark precogging?
It looks like he's the appropriate. I think he didn't draw enough on that first go round. He may have followed the Jedi, put one under his deck. All right, dark precogging, discard the Sandcrawler. Man, that card is a liability if it's played at the wrong time. But he is showing Dennis that he is running Jawas True and Proud, which also means he has some Twist of Fates in that deck. And Council of Sith, so he's got Twist for days.
Beware those edge battles.
Man, I love Twist.
Matt kicking it off with the Sith Library.
Yep, dropping it in.
And now, with 4 resources to spend, where are they going to go? We don't know. They covered up that Trandoshan. Is that a 2 or is that a 1?
That's a 2. It's a 5-2.
And it was covered up. So it looks like he's going to have to spend 4 resources this turn. 2 for the old Trandoshan there.
Love it. Stormtrooper with target strike on Wookiees. And Wookiees happen to be pretty good.
Yeah, Chewie gets around, I know. And then some of them are running even more Wookiee support. I've seen some Wookiee business going around.
Yeah, you have that random Wookiee in the Navigator of the Decoy at Dantooine, which can be funny. Someone protected with that particular Wookiee the other day, and I had no idea it was coming because you don't really think of that Wookiee in that context.
Yeah, you don't think of him in the battle.
All right, Matt played it looks like drawing all the cards, or each drawing 2. Matt played a really good hand for anti-Sleuth, which you have to expect when you see Across the Anuit Raise the Stakes. I think Dennis was hoping for a freeholders there. We're not seeing it. He does have a Han and a Swindled. Is that a Swindled?
He's a little swindly.
If he has a Swindled, then this is a great turn for him.
He's got double Sleuths as well.
Sleuths are risky here. What do we got? It looks like a Shifty. Interesting.
Force Choke. Might be worth it just to draw the Force Choke out. He's going to trust me.
I feel like we've seen this before.
Yeah, this seems very familiar, huh? Kind of doing everything to make Matt think that freeholders are coming out. But instead we see Han.
And let me tell you, Han is a boss.
Yes.
It's really easy if you don't see him for a while to forget how much he wrecks the board just all the time.
And unfortunately, Dennis is sitting on, what, 2 swindleds there?
I don't know if that's swindled or over my dead body, but it looks like he's attacking. He's popping the advisor, and this is going to be quite the edge battle, assuming he blocks. With Trandoshan, which there's no reason not to because Han has targeted strike.
Yeah.
Here we go. It is nice, though, because Dennis can pretty much guarantee he's going to get the force here. Yeah, I don't think that was swindled.
And we got to be careful with all the twists of fates here. Dennis going to pass on that second play.
Sith are so good at winning edge battles because of twist, and then they have high edge icons cards, so Dennis is in a rough spot here, I think.
If Matt plays 3 here, what's he looking at? 4, and Dennis.
There goes Han.
Did not have 4.
Dennis is going to take the force, buy himself a little more time, and it's really not a great start for Dennis.
Not a great start
if he's wanting to win fast.
Yeah, if you're trying to get it done. I think what he needed there was freeholders. He was maybe relying on that a bit too much. You maybe could have created a sleuth hand that works. Not sure. Force choke coming in.
It looks like he's going to cancel again.
Trust me takes some more. And the question is, does Dennis know that he has the reset on top of his objective deck?
Yeah, and that's what makes this so tough. Again, normally, canceling that with Trust Me there would be questionable because you're going to lose an objective pretty easily. But when False Report was out, it was just so... You're just okay getting rid of the objective.
Right. You just cycle in, reset the board, start over, try to lay down some objectives. Although Dennis is going to have a bit of a struggle playing enough out to get this game sealed up before 7. I'm having my concerns right now.
Yeah, I mean, the wild part of this deck, honestly, is... Looks like we get another Trandoshan. Is there's so many games where Darkside has complete control, dials at 6, and then all of a sudden, Lightside has a holding all the cards, holding all the cards, holding all the cards for 3 freeholders end game.
Wow, yeah.
It happens. It doesn't matter if it happens on turn 1 or turn 3. If it happens, it's pretty much game over.
And yeah, Matt seems like playing it pretty cool here, assuming that things might get bounced. Just taking the force back and passing it over.
He is triggering Council here to draw on Dennis's turn. That's something that is hard to choose if you really want to have another card in hand. With the Shifty Lookout, a single holding all the cards here could put Dennis in range for some freeholders, but I don't think we're seeing those here.
And I'm sure Dennis is none too pleased to not see any right now.
Yeah, and it's the kind of thing, occasionally you're going to have games where you just don't see them or don't see them in the right context and able to play them. And, what got you here might not get you there.
Go with the one that brought you, isn't that what they say? And what are we looking at there? A lot of glare.
I think that was an operative. Normally free, but Matt didn't spend all his resources, so that's really funny. And a saboteur, so Dennis was able to blow up one of Matt's enhancements. Going to take balance again, so the dial's going to only be at 3. Trust Me is 1 damage away from being blown up. So it's getting pretty close here.
Do you blow up Trust Me right now?
No, I don't think you do, but all you need is a turn. Here if Matt blows up 2 objectives, he's going to get the dial to 6. So on this next turn...
Dennis will have to get all 3.
Dennis is going to have to do something, or Matt's going to have a decently easy time of swinging up. Vader here, I'll be curious to see if Matt attacks. I would almost want to get Raise the Stake turned off and get 2 objectives primed and ready for the next turn, which is the real show.
You got to wonder, it looks like...
Just committing.
Yeah, and it looks like Dennis doesn't have the ability even to play a... I like that. To play an event and cancel it before the refresh. That looks good. Matt's playing this well. He's obviously played against this crazy smuggler stuff before.
It's like you've seen it. And, the Vader move there it's solid because he knows without a doubt that's going to get the force for him and keep it. And if he can keep the force, he's going to click it up to 5. 2 objectives at that point seals the game. 1 objective gets close. You obviously don't blow it up until you have to, but we'll see what happens.
There's 1 Sleuth. There's 2 Sleuths. Red Sleuth.
And another Sleuth.
3 Sleuths. All right, so we're seeing Smugglers 1.0 hitting the board.
So Dennis has some things here.
Some options.
He's got some goods going on. Now Dennis has no resources open, which is a problem because you really a single swindled here instead of a third Sleuth would have been massive.
He didn't have swindled in hand, did he?
No.
All right. Well,
Zero
we know he made the
swindled.
right decision.
All right, one Sleuth.
1 Sleuth.
2 Sleuth.
How many edge battles can you win? And it's opposed by a Trandoshan.
I never knew why Dennis hated Trandoshans so much, and I think I'm maybe about to find out why he hates them.
Yeah, maybe a little slanted. All right, we have a pass. What's Matt going to do? How bad does he want this? You got to think it's not a twist here, unless he's bluffing well.
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
He throws in, looks like a heat of battle.
I don't think we've seen any Falcon cards. Ooh, 2 heats. Ouch.
Well, that is fantastic, but really doing the work that the Trandoshan would do anyway.
Yeah, but you need to win that edge battle. So,
Second Sleuth.
round 2.
And this is where the cards really matter.
One thing to note, too, like, of all the cards we've seen of Dennis, we haven't seen any from the Falcon objective set, which means there are no known twist of fates at this point.
No known twists. Got to keep an eye on it.
That is something to always be watching. When I see cards from twist objectives, my eyes just kind of like...
And, yeah, target of opportunity. 5
Boom.
damage.
All right, 1 objective down.
Welcome to Sleuth Town.
Now, Matt decided not to block that when he could have. Dennis has to make the choice here whether he go with that other Sleuth. I almost don't. It's Dennis's last attack. He is going to go for it, but I've got a feeling Matt can easily win this and just destroy that Sleuth for no good reason. Yeah, Dennis doesn't even put it in the edge. Dennis is going to slice in, which could look really good for him. Matt's going to keep balanced. Dog's going to go to 5. And I don't know if I would have sent that Sleuth or not.
Sleuth to die.
It's easy to say that when I'm watching from above,
At least
not
the
in the game.
Trandoshans are down, and that means that these Sleuths, at least the one that's on the board, is a significant threat unless Matt puts down some more 2-cost units.
I think Matt's writing down where the dog got last time just to make sure he's...
He's going to write Dennis a love note here. 7.
Yeah.
3.
7. Why was 7 in level
1.
3? Apparently it was because it was 1. I got nothing.
And so, we will see the dial go forward.
That's the dial and the objectives, by the way.
There you go. He wants to make sure not to make any mistakes, especially because I'm sure that his next turn will have a lot to do with the tiebreaker system and the way that this all shakes out in a top 8 scenario.
No, that's not necessarily what you want to see
Not
there.
Not really what you want to see. Another scum objective.
I think he'll be all right, though.
As long as he doesn't want to play more than 2 Sith cards. He'll be
Looks
just
like
fine.
he's sitting on a Sith Lightning and a Heat of Battle, and I really think you got to dump that Sith Lightning. You got to hope, not hope, you got to try to draw into the damage that you need. If he can draw like a Palpatine here.
Palpatine looks really good, but really all he needs... Now, he can't do Trust Me until it's his last objective. That would be my perception of this. You don't want to risk... Although at the same time, you're going to risk... No, never mind. It doesn't reveal automatically, so it doesn't much matter. I've still got that objective in my head that it's going to reset the board, but...
I'll tell you what, the perfect thing here would be a Palpatine and a Sith Holocron. I don't know if he's running Executor or not, but I do see Palpatine. Dennis can no longer cancel, so that's going to get Force Choke back in action if Matt can blow up an objective.
Palpatine just shy of coming in here, it looks like.
No, he's got 6. He got that Sith Library.
Oh, there it is.
But what does Palpatine do when there's 2 Sleuths on the board? Jawa Sandcrawler.
Matt, what are you, crazy?
You know...
Zach thinks so.
At this point, he's getting units on the board that he can block with, but I don't know what's going on here.
Well,
Saving Palpatine for that edge battle, I suppose.
He's decided that, I think Matt has decided his best bet is to just defend and let that dial take up to 7 for the game.
Yep, Dennis has to get it here on his next turn.
That to me is stressful. That's a very stressful solution to this problem.
Sit back and wait instead of just taking care of it.
Yeah.
He didn't have the objective damage. He just didn't have it.
He just didn't have it, you're right.
It's here now, Papa D.
Does he have the cards? Matt holding the hand of, looks like 4 cards.
Yeah, Dennis has 4 resources open. I see a Lando. If Dennis had a 5th resource, this would be obscenely good for him because he could Lando and have the resource to bounce someone. But he does not.
He does not. Does look like target in hand, right? Target or heat of battle.
Target, and there's a blockade runner. Matt's only got a single 2-cost blocker. It looks like Dennis has a blockade runner and 2 sleuth scouts. Or only a 1.
Only the 1.
Only the 1.
But he does have a target, it looks like.
Can you imagine if he had a second sleuth scout here?
I can imagine.
All right, blockade's going for it. Looks like blockade's got 2 black on itself, 1 from across the Anawit.
Against all odds, we get anything from that one?
There's not. It's just raise the stakes.
No, raise the stakes. What I meant.
So he needs to get it unopposed. This is a really interesting situation. I'm curious he didn't throw in like the Shifty Lookout to have 2 unit damage so that if you... Oh, I guess you have to tackle alone for he can't block. So
you do.
There it is.
Can't really threaten the Swindled here. I think Matt looks fine.
Oh, unopposed. He's giving it to him.
Unopposed says yes.
Wow. I was not prepared.
I feel like we're going to have an all-in attack here, aren't we?
Yeah, I mean, all that Dennis or Matt has to do here is not lose a second objective, right? So not blocking, that blockade runner had the most damage and the most health. All Matt really needs to do is win an edge battle, which I think he can do with that Palpatine he saved.
Yeah. I mean, even here, if he just puts a body in front of the Sleuth, what's the Sleuth doing? 4 damage?
4. Yeah. But target looms.
Isn't there two, and these are both 2 6s there, right?
No. Trandocean's a 5-2.
Oh, it's a 5.
The Tatooine Crash is a 6-1.
Every time I see those scum objectives, I assume 6. They tend to be a little hardy. Kind of like that. It's hard to find them. They're hidden. Dennis trying to find a way. I'm not seeing one in hand.
Yeah, I mean, the gambit really here is you attack with the Sleuth and hope he doesn't block. Because you have target, and that's the hidden win, but...
I'm gonna guess that he's gonna block.
Yeah, I hear Dennis. I think he's trying to tee him up, but I don't think it's gonna work.
I'm trying to see if there's any weird way to do it.
Yeah, he's blocking. And I think that's gonna do it. I don't know that Dennis has a way out here.
Especially with some heated battles hitting the table. I think there's a right way to play this edge battle, which I think is being played correctly.
There goes Palpatine. All right, this is going to be all in. I don't think it's going to much matter, though. The thing we have to remember, too, is that Vader cannot block.
Vader
Side
cannot
note.
block. Welcome to Sleuths.
Well, he cannot block after this. Let's see what we got.
Dennis at least has to play that target to have any kind of a chance. And even then, he has no chance. So.
Well, you can save the target, and you could send all your other dudes to the other objective.
And then Vader just slices him up.
Well,
Dennis on 6.
Matt's 7 with
Matt
a
wins
heat.
that edge battle. I think that's going to do it, guys.
yeah, and the reason I was saying that if Dennis can get the force, I guess it doesn't matter. Matt only needs to blow up that trust me. So
Seems like a pretty easy task right now, yeah?
This is cruising. I think Matt's feeling pretty good right now.
I'm just going to pass over. I guess we're going to...
Dial's going to go to 7. That should do it. They may play it out just for funsies.
Look at all smuggler objectives. So what's the odds of that happening?
There's a number.
Supremely low, that number. Force Lightning the Scout.
Yeah, and this is after refresh before draw, I think. He's trying to clear some cards out. Vader's triggering his ability, and you got to go after that Shifty, man. Yeah, there it is. Get out of town.
Yeah, and Matt, it's so funny because like he's not going to be able to play anything.
No, but you still get to see more cards. See a Bounty and a Force Choke there, and a Jawa. He has a lot of zero-cost guys he can just drop onto the board.
Does have some neutrals for sure. I see a Jawa.
Gotta love them Jawas. I think he's playing nothing.
Playing nothing. And then moving some stuff around. Taking a look at the math. Those two on, trust me. Unopposed, will take the dial to 8. Looking to play the game out, but we're going to leave it there because the match is over. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Zach, what do you think?
Oh,
Smugglers
man.
or smugglers, huh?
Smugglers all day. It looks like Matt got the best there. Big congrats to both of these guys for making the top 8. To Matt for taking out world champion Dennis Harley and moving on to the top 4. And I'm just excited to see how this finishes up and see if anyone can take the smugglers off the top.
That's right. So we'll have those games going, guys. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you on more from the regionals and Ground Zero games in Tyler, Texas.
See you guys later.